Tung 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 sahur ta 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 sahur din 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 dum ma din 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 do liri li lari la orcalero orcala ballerina ballerina.
Good evening, I'm Mehran and welcome to the Global Economics Tonight. Over the past decade, unemployment has remained one of the most important measures of how well nations are performing economically. Tonight we'll be taking a closer look at how Australia's job market has evolved from 2015 to 2025 and what experts predict for 2035. We'll then compare Australia's situation with Switzerland, a highly developed and stable economic country, and Eswatini, a developing country that continues to face employment challenges. To help analyze these trends, I'm joined today by Anis, who will walk us through Australia's recent unemployment data and what it reveals about the nation's recovery and growth.
Thank you, Mehran. In 2015, Australia recorded an unemployment rate of around 6.1%. That figure reflected slower growth following the global financial crisis and a period of economic adjustment. A major turning point came during the COVID-19 pandemic between 2020 and 2021. Unemployment briefly spiked to more than 7% as lockdowns and restrictions hit the labour market hard. However, strong government intervention, particularly the JobKeeper wage subsidy, helped protect jobs and businesses. By 2025, unemployment had dropped to around 4%, one of the lowest levels seen in over a decade. Much of this improvement has come from growth in construction, healthcare, and education sectors, supported by continued government stimulus and investment in renewable energy. Looking forward to 2035, economists predict the rate could fall slightly further to around 3.6% as new industries expand and automation creates more specialized roles. Yet, persistent issues such as underemployment and youth job insecurity remain, reminding us that stronger job numbers won't always mean full prosperity.
Now let's compare that to Switzerland, one of the world's most advanced economies. In 2015, Switzerland's unemployment rate stood at around 3.2%, already among the world's lowest globally. Over the decade, despite global showdowns and supply chain disruptions, that figure has already improved. In 2025, unemployment is just at 2.3%, and projections for 2035 suggest it could remain around 2%. This remarkable consistency is largely due to Switzerland's vocational education system, which prepares students with practical skills that directly align with industry needs. In addition, a highly diversified economy and spanning finance, pharmaceuticals, engineering, and technology provides stability even in turbulent global markets. Essentially, Switzerland demonstrates how education, innovation, and political stability can sustain long term employment and protect living standards.
In contrast, Eswatini, a small developing nation in southern Africa, faces greater challenges. In 2015, Eswatini recorded an unemployment rate of around 25%, and today in 2025, it remains alarmingly high at around 24%. Most of the workforce is concentrated in agriculture or informal trading, with limited access to stable or high income jobs. The COVID-19 pandemic worsened these difficulties, disrupting exports and tourism, two key sources of income for Eswatini. While the Eswatini government has introduced small-scale youth training programs and business incentives, progress has been very slow. By 2035, unemployment is expected to remain high, hovering around 22%, unless major reforms attract foreign investment, improve education access, and diverse the economy.
Joining me now is Dr. Anis, a respected economist specializing in global labor markets. Doctor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mehran. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's begin with Australia. What is the change from 6.1% in 2015 to 4% in 2025 tell us about the nation's economic direction?
Australia's unemployment data tells a story of resilience and recovery. The government's swift policy response during COVID-19, particularly through fiscal support and job protection measures, prevented widespread job losses. The continuing fall in unemployment shows that Australia has managed to transition into a more diverse and technology-driven economy. However, maintaining this progress will require tackling underemployment and ensuring wage growth keeps up with the cost of living.
And turning to Switzerland, why has it managed to keep unemployment so low for so long?
Switzerland benefits from a strong vocational education model, close links between industry and training institutions, and a culture that values long term innovation. These factors produce a skilled workforce that's adaptable and in demand, even during global downturns. It's a model many other nations, including Australia, could look for inspiration.
And what about developing countries like Eswatini? What obstacles keep the unemployment rate so high?
These challenges are structural, limited industrial capacity, over-reliance on agriculture, and inadequate access to technology and education. Sustainable progress would depend on economic diversification, private investment, and empowering small businesses. Without these changes, employment will remain largely informal and unstable in.
Finally, looking ahead to 2035, what's your outlook for global employment trends?
The next decade will be defined by automation and digital transformation. Nations that invest in education, research, and innovation will see new job creation, while others risk falling behind. For countries like Australia and Switzerland, the future appears optimistic, but for developing nations, building human capital will be the key to unlocking sustainable employment.
Thank you, Dr. Ennis, for those valuable insights.
Thank you, Mehran. It's been a pleasure.
In Australia, lower unemployment has improved financial stability and quality of life, although inflation and housing costs remain key concerns. Switzerland's near full employment underpins some of the highest living standards in the world, while Eswatini's persistent unemployment continues to fuel poverty and inequality.
Ultimately, reducing unemployment isn't just about the numbers, it's about ensuring every person has the opportunity to live with dignity and security.
To sum it up for you guys, unemployment remains a vital indicator of economic health and social well-being. Australia shows strong recovery, Switzerland continues to excel, and Eswatini reminds us of the challenges still ahead for developing nations.
Tung 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 sahur, ta 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 sahur, din din